By definition, all you need is a net worth of $1 million to be considered a millionaire. But the landscape of wealth has evolved in the past decade or so. The Modern Wealth Survey of 2022 revealed that to be considered a millionaire, you actually need over $2 million. And the net worth required to have true financial security is even more staggering, $10 million. While your own personal financial goals may lie somewhere in between these numbers, these are still some crazy numbers that are incredibly difficult to reach, even with amazing software engineering careers. But the good news is that by choosing a career in software engineering, you have already given yourself a huge leg up in reaching these milestones. And in this video, I'll share with you 7 things you can do to achieve these financial goals by maximizing your earnings as a software engineer. Hey folks, my name is Utsav. I'm a software engineer based in Seattle. If you're new to this channel, my goal here is to help software engineers get the best out of their careers by mentoring them around 5 key pillars of career development: technical skills, engineering efficiency, mindset, entrepreneurship, and financial freedom. So if that sounds interesting, please consider subscribing and follow me at Utsavized for behind the scenes and monthly Q&As. One of the best things about a software engineering career is that there are a lot of great job options and ones that pay very well. You may be a little nervous about the recent reduction in force and artificial intelligence looming over, but as long as you can continue to learn and adapt, software engineering isn't going anywhere anytime soon. The average software engineering salary in the US is around 3 times more than the median annual wage. And for some of the top tech companies, this number can reach as high as 10 times or more. So a career in software engineering is still a great bet when it comes to strengthening your financial outlook. But to truly maximize your earning potential, you must make sure to pay special attention to 3 areas within your day job. First is your technical skill set. You must continue to learn and adapt to software engineering trends. Big data, distributed systems, and machine learning are all on high demand right now. And by working on these areas on your day job, you're also continually learning about them. And these are critical transferable skills that you can easily leverage to build your wealth outside your day job. More on that a bit later. Second is your relationships and network. When you work on various projects with different people from all walks of life, you will form lasting relationships and a great network. This is invaluable. So make sure to commit to maintaining these relationships. And third is the salary that your day job brings. Having the security of a good day job is massive when it comes to giving you the confidence to explore other avenues of building wealth. Your job pays your bills, provides you with health insurance, and helps you take care of the basics of personal finance. There are a million videos and articles on the basics of wealth building, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but you have to take care of these basics. Things like savings, diversification of your investment portfolio, maxing out your 401k, and backdoor Roth conversions. These are non-negotiable. So read up on them and use your salary to ensure that they are sorted out properly. The magic of compound interest means that the earlier you maximize these, the faster your wealth will grow. If there's one point you should take away from the millionaire mindset, is that you should live below your means and avoid lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is the phenomena in which the person's spending goes up every time their income increases. In other words, as you're earning more and more each month, you're also spending more, whether on living expenses, travel, dining out, entertainment, or shopping. So even though your earnings increase over time, the delta of your income to expense stays relatively the same. Look, I'm not asking you to live like a hermit, but at the very least, resist the urge to get things you don't really need until you're at least over 30. Optimize for your wealth early in your career, give it time to grow, and then you can enjoy some rewards for things you really care about later in life. For example, I love cars. But the most expensive car I owned until I was 30 was probably worth $3,000. And for the most part, I didn't even have a car. I bummed rides from friends and took public transit everywhere. I also shared a small 300 square foot studio with a buddy who literally slept in the closet. Could I have afforded a decent car and a nicer apartment? Sure, I had good jobs, but that sacrifice early on and smart investments allowed me to get a few nicer things today that I really care for. This is the point I want you guys to really pay attention to. In their book, The Unfair Advantage, authors Ali and Kuba emphasize that to optimize for success, you need to identify and use your unfair advantages. Your unfair advantages are basically things that give you the competitive edge. Think of pouring water into a filter. Initially, we're all poured into the same funnel. With each unfair advantage, you get filtered into a smaller set, and the further along you make it, the lesser the competition. In the book, the authors identify 5 key categories to focus on when trying to identify your unfair advantages: valuable assets, knowledge, location or timing, interpersonal skills, and social connections. I'll give you an example. I started this YouTube channel back in 2020. Initially, I experimented with a few different ideas that I was personally interested in, from productivity to music. Heck, I even made videos about cooking. Obviously, no one watched any of these videos because my competition was huge. That's when I asked myself, what are my unfair advantages? Things that make me stand out as an individual. Well, I'm skilled at software engineering. I have over 2 decades of experience, and I work at a very respectable company, and I've saved enough money that I can invest upfront in high quality equipment, and I had also done some side gigs for editing videos in the past, so I'm comfortable editing my own video. This makes my competition much more scoped in as opposed to some random dude making videos on things he's interested in. It gives me unfair advantages at least in 4 out of those 5 areas that the authors have identified. The interpersonal skill is the only one that's debatable because I don't think I'm the most charismatic person on camera, but well, 4 out of 5 is much better than 0 out of 5. But needless to say, after I made those changes, the channel went from less than 1,000 subscribers to over 100,000 subscribers in just over a year. I hope you get the point that I'm trying to hone in on. You are a software engineer who has a decent salary, knows how to code pretty well, and by virtue of having worked on multiple projects from inception to launch, you are also naturally entrepreneurs. Use those unfair advantages to grow your wealth. And this is not just true for software engineers, it applies to anyone. Identifying your unfair advantages is the single best thing you can do to improve your chances of exponentially growing your wealth outside of your day job. The next thing I encourage you to do is to try different things. Every software engineer I talk to has this billion-dollar idea, but 10,000 other things that need to fall in place before it can actually work. Here's the reality. Ideas are worth $0. And every wealthy person I've talked to, watched, or read about grew their wealth over time through multiple ventures. So instead of aiming for this one big idea that could potentially make you rich overnight, try your hand at smaller and simpler ideas more frequently. One, you will maximize your chances of some of them sticking. And even if none of them make it big, they could all trickle in enough earnings, which when combined can produce the same results as one big hit. For example, just the top of my head, here are some of the things I've tried in the past 15 years. Graphics and web design agency, banking software, online Sudoku solver, lyrics database for non-English songs, app that allows you to try out clothes virtually, social network simulator, app that recommends you what to eat and where to eat, app that gathers deals and coupons from local restaurants, software consulting company, app that allows you to attach memories like pictures to a virtual map, posting stock images and videos to sites like 500px, a marketplace that helps restaurants fill up downtime by incentivizing customers with discounts, in-app versions of physical games, mentoring services, resume reviews, and this YouTube channel. Of course, most of these failed, but a few worked out. One keeps trickling in some spare cash and has made me over $30,000 in the past 8 years. Another one makes me over $100,000 each year, and one of them ended up being worth $5 million. In the end, it's a numbers game. The more you try, the more your chances of succeeding. And in case you do end up creating an app that brings in revenue or creating a startup, definitely think about Mercury for your banking needs, who have also sponsored this video. Mercury is a game-changing banking solution for businesses. I know firsthand how important it is to have a reliable and efficient banking partner that can help you streamline your financial operations, which is why I love that Mercury provides FDIC insured checking and savings account so that your funds are protected up to $5 million, giving you peace of mind and security. Mercury also makes it easy for businesses to issue employee debit and credit cards with custom limits. Plus, their platform allows you to automate recurring payments, accounts payable, and other banking busywork. It's also super easy to sign up. You can open an account right from your laptop, even if your business is outside of the United States, as long as your business is US based. So yeah, check Mercury out. Link will be in the description below. Okay, so the other problem with software engineers is that we want to build everything ourselves because 1, it gives us joy, and 2, because we can. And the thought process is that if I can build it myself, I don't have to pay anyone else and hence save money. The issue with that though is that you're tying your own time to an hourly rate, and there is only so many hours in a day. Hourly income only scales linearly. And as software engineers, we should know that scalability is the name of the game. Exponential increase in income happens when you do 3 things. First, try a diverse set of ventures, as I outlined in the previous point. Second, outsource those efforts so that your time isn't directly tied to those efforts. And 3, build the right thing at the right time. When it comes to outsourcing, if you can build something, you can for sure advise or oversee someone else building it. Sure, it costs money, but if you've been diligent with your finances, you should have spare cash to invest upfront so that you can utilize your unfair advantages elsewhere. On top of that, outsourcing is almost always cheaper than what your own time is worth. Another worry I often hear is that the quality isn't great when outsourcing. Sure, that may be true, but when the goal is to maximize your blast radius by trying as many different things as possible, it's not important that every one of those is of great quality. If something sticks, you can always reinvest on that product to make it great. There's a saying, building the tight thing versus building the right thing. When it comes to entrepreneurship, focus your time on building the right thing first, then optimize to make it tight. It does not matter how great your software is. If it's not released at the right time for the right customer, it will not earn money. So delegate and outsource so that you build a decent product for cheap and instead focus your time on making sure that you're building the right thing. Time is your most valuable currency, and every hour of your time is worth something. So your goal should be to always spend your time on things that potentially increase that value. Don't take me wrong, I'm not asking you to think like, I cannot hang out with my friends or family because in these 3 hours I could be earning $300 instead. Relationships and happiness are beyond money. They're invaluable. In fact, I read a research paper a while back that mentioned that after a certain amount of income, the returns on happiness were diminishing. So instead of thinking of it as earning money, I encourage you to think of it as building wealth. You don't even need to spend the money you earn if you don't want to. Instead, the goal is to achieve a certain degree of financial freedom, to take care of your family, to secure your future. What you're buying is peace of mind. To that end, recognizing the value of your time helps you put things into perspective and to be more intentional about how you spend your time. If your goal is to spend more time with your family or friends or play a few hours of video game, that's totally cool, as long as you do it intentionally. But if you know that you should be doing something else that could provide more value, but you spend your time endlessly doom scrolling through TikTok, that's a waste of time. So my advice to you is to spend every hour of the day intentionally, whether that's on spending time trying to earn more, investing on your own personal growth, or spending time with your family. That's when you start realizing just how much more time you have than you think, and then use those extra hours to improve your financial outlook. If you're interested in more topics around finance for software engineers, check out this video on how I spend my own salary. Or if you want to learn more about how I utilize every hour of my day effectively, check out this video I recently made. I hope this video is useful. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.